It's my pleasure to welcome you to this brief ceremony to dedicate the Vaughn baseball field. Mo was a student at Trinity-Pawling for 4 years. He lived in Star Hall with Mrs. Smith and me. Your junior year, I think, Mo.
Don't tell these stories.
I got a story. Mo did not like to get out of bed in the morning. I let the dean of students worry about Monday through Saturday, but Sunday morning was my job to wake him up for chapel. Wendy was 3 years old that year, and she'd wander down the hallway with me to wake Mo and everybody else up. Mo was no worse than the other kids. She learned that if she crawled into Mo's bed and tickled him, he would get out of bed. So for a few years, when Mo was being a great success on the baseball diamond, Wendy, being still very young, would say, "Yeah, and I've been in Mo Vaughn's bed." Then she finally realized that was not the thing to say. But Mo was a great student at Trinity-Pawling, a lot of fun to have around, and it's great to have you back today. I'd like to introduce a classmate of his, Eric Olstein, who will begin the dedication. Eric?
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mo, it's so great to see you and your parents here today. It's been since graduation, I think, last. And while Mo should always be recognized for his statistical accomplishments and success in the athletic field, it's his friendship and support of his community which should be really elevated today. Thinking of stories of Mo, one had come to mind I'm not even sure Mo is aware of, and nor would it ever be in the history books of Trinity-Pawling, but while he played varsity baseball, he was a major contributor to the varsity track 4x400 relay team. Now, at that time, as most of the alumni can remember, the track was located over here by the cemetery. The baseball field was back over here by the trees. And there's only really one command for most track teams. It would be stick, and you would pass the baton to the next runner. Our team also had another phrase, incoming. We would keep an eye out for Mo as he's coming around to the plate. And as we're running around the track, we would watch Mo hit one solid, which was a heads up for us to keep an eye out. And to the bewilderment of our competitors, a baseball would be crashing down into the middle of the relay match, causing them to misstep and our team to surge ahead. You know, it was a family and a community. The entire track team would be rooting for Mo while at the same time rooting for the victory he just provided our team. I'm not even sure if we ever lost a relay match while at home when Mo was at the plate. Trinity-Pawling's core values are integrity, tradition, and community. It is a value of community which brings us all here today. Trinity-Pawling is much more than a high school experience. It's a lifetime of friendships new and old, as shared by all of you here today for homecoming. It reaches beyond the classroom. As alumni, we've all shed the blood, the sweat, and the tears on these very athletic fields. And if you took Mr. Smith's chemistry class, probably in his classroom as well. And most friends have come back today. We have our head prefect at the time, Gedney Webb, Mo's roommate of 4 years and fellow prefect, U.S. Marine Lieutenant Colonel Stu McNelly. We have Mo's former coaches, though I'm not actually sure a coach is ever former. We have Coach Hubbard, Coach Hutchinson, Coach Karate, all here to join our community in sharing the generosity and bond with Mo. As a student, my memory of Mo is that he excelled here, both on the athletic field and within our community. He demanded the very best of himself and those around him. He played with focus and passion, but at all times he showed respect and gratitude to the coaches and teachers that demanded the best of him. Think of the nights before our graduation and sitting in Mo and Stu's dorm room. We would talk about the future, and like most seniors, we weren't really sure where the future would take us on our path, or let alone if we'd ever see each other again. But it's that tradition of community here that brought us back to celebrate the new baseball field, the new lights in the gymnasium, and maybe for my sons who attend school here and their classmates, to understand a little bit more of the interconnectivity that we all share and benefit from our community here at Trinity-Pawling. Mo, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, your fellow alum, your friends, thank you for your generosity. It's so good to see you back here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Last spring, Brian Foster and Miles Hubbard came to me and said that they've been talking to Mo and Mo would like to help the baseball diamond a little bit, and could we get this done by the fall? And I said, sure. So I went to Ed Hauser and said, we need this done by the fall, and he said, sure. I'd get an email from Miles Hubbard once a week from April until September. The ball field's not done yet. Now you have to understand that by the time that Mr. Hubbard not graduated, but retired from Trinity-Pawling, he didn't know what email was. And now I think he lives on it. But his prodding and his pushing did allow us to get to this day. And I'd like to ask Miles Hubbard, Dave Karate, and John Hutchinson to come up and speak about Mo and to unveil the plaque.
I actually learned about a lot of things about Maurice well before he came here in '82 as a freshman. There was a faculty member at his middle school who was a graduate of Trinity-Pawling previously and was a member of the Trinity-Pawling Board of Trustees. And he called me and told me about this young man who was coming to Trinity-Pawling. And I learned a lot about Mo then, but really what he called me for, he said, look, this guy may be in the adjustment period. Please watch over him a little bit this freshman year. So as a result, I probably paid a little more attention to Maurice than I would the typical incoming freshman. And some of the things I learned right away, I think, carried through his 4 years. And the word that Eric used is a word that I come up with. I thought throughout his 4 years, and even starting his freshman year, was the word respect. Respect for the Trinity-Pawling community, respect for fellow students, respect for the adults in the community. And right away it surfaced, and I think athletics helped him, but because of his positive attitude, he became a leader. He was a leader as a freshman, ended up as a prefect his senior year. So all through those same characteristics showed up that I noticed right away as a freshman. And when you talk about respect, you know, one of the things that I picked up from Maurice right away was the respect for his parents. There was always positive things coming, and you know, proof of the respect he had for his parents. There's no question from Mo who the bosses were. Both his parents were educators, and both had a very positive influence. And proof of that is that the Vaughns are here today with Mo, and I think they deserve a hand too. Obviously, the 4 years at the Hall of Fame, some things were mentioned about the Hall of Fame recipients today playing 3 sports. Well, Mo started as a freshman and played varsity football, varsity basketball, and varsity baseball. And he carried that right through for 4 years, 12 lettermen. Not too many in the history of the school people can say that. But besides all of his athletic achievements, and you know, the honors and the awards and so forth, captainships, championships. One of the things I remember too, all those athletic contests, I thought he played pretty much on an even keel. I thought he set a good example for others to follow. Didn't get too much involved with the officials, maybe a couple of exceptions. Didn't get too much involved with opposing players or coaches. Pretty much played under control, I guess is the word I want. Showed a discipline. Enjoyed playing, enjoyed competing, enjoyed having success. And then another thing that always sticks out in my mind was that invariably, sometimes he would come into my office and we'd have discussions about things. And invariably the discussion would turn, I want to be a Major League Baseball player. I mean, this started in his freshman year. And of course, trying to do my job, you got to do your homework. You got to get good grades, because if that doesn't work out, you got to go to college, you got to get a degree and all that business. And you know, I pointed out to him, I said, I can remember very clearly, all the people that play youth baseball or high school baseball, maybe 1% make it professional. And in the minor leagues, 10%, only 10% of the minor league players ever see the big time, ever make it to the major leagues. 9% fail. So I tell them all this stuff. The end of the discussion, I want to be a Major League Baseball player. You know, so that went on. But After Trinity-Pawling, of course, goes to Seton Hall University, gets a baseball scholarship, Division I baseball scholarship to Seton Hall. Great career at Seton Hall, All-American at Seton Hall. At the end of his junior year in 1989, drafted in the first round by the Boston Red Sox. In the first round, 89, 90, struggles a little bit. Pawtucket, is that right, Mo? AAA, and all of a sudden takes off. In 91, he's promoted to Fenway Park, Boston Red Sox. During those 8 years with the Red Sox, 95, the American League most valuable player. Think about that. All the people in the American League most valuable player. 3-time All-Star, American League All-Star during those 8 years of the Red Sox. I don't remember exactly the statistics, but roughly, those 8 years, a little over 300 batting average. I think almost 35 home runs a year, about 110 RBIs a year, roughly. All of those are unbelievable. You know, if you and I went up in the back quad and played in a slow pitch softball game, not many of us come up with those stats. Think about that. It's true. I'll speak for myself if you guys don't want to. But think about that. It's just a tremendous. Goes to Anaheim, has a couple of good years at Anaheim, suffers an injury, and then finishes up with the New York Mets. But all this is going on, he still thinks, or still wanted to do something for Trinity-Pawling. Maurice has contributed a considerable amount of money to Trinity-Pawling. There's the endowment money, there's the Maurice Vaughn Scholarship Fund that helps students come to Trinity-Pawling. There's projects like the renovation of the baseball field. This is all that he's done I started off with the word respect, so did Eric. There you go again. I did, just in finishing, I did ask Mo, any of you people at the end, and especially younger guys, want to say hi to him and shake his hand and congratulate him. He's very receptive to that idea, so feel free to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to say a couple things to add to that. I was on the varsity coaching staff when Mo played varsity football here. I wasn't the head coach. I just was talking to his father a few minutes ago, and we were kind of relaying. Used to watch his father pace the sidelines, especially Mo's freshman year. We weren't very good. I think we scored 14 points the whole year. Matter of fact, 7 of the points was on Mo taking a blocked punt back for a touchdown. So we scored 1 offensive touchdown the whole year. And he would come out of those games as a freshman, starting on varsity, battered and bruised. And I think Mr. and Mrs. Vaughn were crossing their fingers. And we just said the fact that he made it through that freshman football season, a good testament to his future. So when he did make it, I could actually use him today to get suited up. But he, as Mr. Hubbard said and others said, he played his sports with a passion. But obviously, he was most passionate about baseball. I was also his dorm parent in his sophomore year, and at night after study hall was over, before study hall started, he would take an orange cone out to the tennis courts and put balls upon balls on top of the orange cones and constantly swing, hit the ball into the fence, hit the ball in hundreds and hundreds of swings every single night. So goals don't happen unless you actually work at it and have the will to prepare, and Mo certainly had the will to prepare throughout his time here and obviously throughout his time afterwards. Mr. Hubbard mentioned his MVP in 1995. I was living in the Star then, and I remember standing in the kitchen and my phone rang, and it was a sports editor from the Poughkeepsie Journal, which is the local paper about 30 minutes away, and they said, "Did you hear that Mo Vaughn is the MVP?" And it wasn't live until the next day. He got it over the wire. So I was like, no, I didn't hear it. And we talked about a half hour about his career, and just that, getting an MVP in 1995 was such a great honor for him, and obviously deserved it very well and worked at it. We do have a baseball fence. It comes up every spring now, but we didn't have one when Mo was here. He gets on us now all the time because the fence actually came the year after he left. And although he hit a bunch of bombs all the time, many times it would be a 400-foot bomb that was caught because the outfielders would play out 400 feet because we didn't have a fence. If he played now in what we call our Homer Dome, he would have had, I don't know how many home runs through his career. I was his head coach his junior and senior year. John Hutchinson was his head coach on his freshman and sophomore year here. And again, he was greatly passionate. Our family followed him throughout. We went to Seton Hall games. We went to single A, double A games. When we were down in Florida, we saw him play. Matter of fact, his last season with the Mets, we were sitting with the Vaughns while his first at bat was a home run in spring ball over the center field fence of playing against the Mets, playing against the Cincinnati Reds in the Mets Stadium. But he's a great friend. Trinity-Pawling truly thanks him for his great contributions then and now to the school. Thank you very much.
Yeah, unveil a little plaque here. You can bend over. Samuel Vaughn 86 Field, in recognition of his loyal support for the Trinity-Pawling student athlete. 12 varsity letters, football, basketball, baseball, major leagues 1991, 2003, American League MVP 1995, dedicated September 29, 2012. Congratulations.
Wow. You know, I didn't expect all this. I first got to say a few things. I want to thank my parents. You know, they're sitting right in front of me. They've been supportive for how many ever years of me being an athlete, being their son, just coming and going. I don't think that anybody's putting any more miles on following me through my career than they have. And as many of you know, they are instrumental in my growth as a person, as a man, as a father now. I do have 2 kids. I got a young son now, 4 months old. Maybe he'll be over here soon. But to my parents, just, I love you both and thank you for everything and thank you for all your support. When you're able to get to this point in life, there's always key people that are able to get behind you and push you along. The Miles Hubbard family, the Dave Karate family, John Hutchinson as one of my coaches, the Art Smith family. These people were all instrumental in my growth as a person, as an athlete, as a human being. And I thank all of you for all your support that you've given me over the years. And like I said, I always take Trinity-Pawling everywhere I go, and I thank you for your support. To have some other friends here, Gedney Webb, head prefect, 86, the leader of the Magnificent Seven, Eric Goldstein, and my roommate Stu McNally of 4 years. It's great to see all of you. And you know what, we gotta make sure that we get our families all back here next year at this time so we can all get together. You know, when you pass through the time that I passed, you know, being an athlete, going through that transition of 13 years, going into business after that, I'm in the affordable housing business out of Manhattan, you never forget your roots. And you 4 guys are always going to be part of my roots. And I appreciate your friendship, and everybody here gives me the opportunity to go and be positive and be supportive. This is a great school. I always tell everybody, the 4 years that I've had here at Trinity-Pawling are the foundation for my success as a man and as a person. What you learn here, education-wise, what you learn here as coming together as a unit, as all boys being together, living together, eating together, studying, all those things are instrumental once you leave here. And I know, you know, in our, you know, the last week of school, We were ready to jump out of here so fast. We couldn't wait to get this, get our stuff on, and we were like, we're out of here. But when things get tough, and and everything hasn't been all rosy. I've had my situations, in the past. You always reflect back to the good things. And I swear, and I will always state this, and I will always be supportive of Trinity-Pawling, because you all of us together is a positive force going forward. I also want to say thank you, say hi to AJ. AJ, I played ball with him. He was on my team. In fact, I think I used to take his glove all the time. I liked his glove. He had a good glove I used to take all the time. I don't forget. I remember that, AJ. But I want to say thank you to everybody for coming out. All of your words made me feel really, really good. I wish my daughter and the rest of my family was here. As I said, we need to get together and stay in touch, and make sure that we continue to move the Trinity-Pawling name in the right direction, being forward and being positive. Thank you for this day. I will always remember it.
I need this.